Hi, it's Melissa, and I'm back with a layout that I made for Clique, and this was for the blog share that we had on the 1st of October, and it was to introduce and meet the new team. And the requirement was that we scrap a layout about ourselves, and we used the October Funfetti Clique kit, which features Pink Fresh Studio Happy Things, and it has some crepe paper in it as well. And if you've already seen some of my videos, you'll know that it's absolutely beautiful and I love it. And so for this layout, I was quite challenged because I don't have many photos of me, and it's not until I'm scrapping a holiday or an event or an assignment like this and I realise that, oh my goodness, I actually don't have many photos because I'm always behind the camera. So one thing I'd say to you is, if you have children, do make sure that you get in front of the camera and let someone else take the photos. So you would have just seen me, I sped it up, I just went through the goodies in the kit and I was just pulling out the things that I knew I wanted to use. And for this layout, I really wanted to focus on using the printables, and so that's what you can see there. We get these, I guess they're triangles all joined together, and I'm trying to think of the shape. I think it's an octagon, I can't remember. Challenged on maths here. And you also get that beautiful ombre card, and those are printables that you print yourself and cut apart. And that other piece underneath my photo, that's also a printable. So I started, as always, with backing my photo on some white cardstock because I love the little white border and separation that provides. And I knew I wanted to use a large piece of the vellum. And I also had been saving that Pink Fresh Studio Exist to be Happy, Not to Impress acetate card, and that's an add-on that you can get from the Clique Kit store. I just love the font and I love the quote. And so here I'm just playing around, deciding where to put everything, and I've actually cut out a lot of the fussing because I spend a lot of time fussing around deciding what goes where. And here I'm taking those circular printables, which I've punched with my little punch, and I'm just adding a clear epoxy sticker over the top. And I learnt this from Adela Inky Quill, and they're really homemade flair or homemade epoxy stickers, and I love that clear sticker just adds so much to what would be normally just a round flat embellishment. So here I'm making my own tags, and I do this a lot. And I know you can get dies and you can probably cut them on your silhouette, but I find the quickest way to make a tag is just to trace around a shipping tag. And I've done that on that, it's a greeny blue paper, and it's the one that has lots of stars on it. And I've punched a hole in it with my crocodile, and at this point I think that I want to put it there behind those layers. So now I'm just playing around with some other printables that I've cut apart and trying to work out where to put them. And if you saw all of this, you'd be probably quite bored because it is pretty painful, me trying to decide and struggling to commit. But I do know that I want my photo to go where it's positioned on that pink ombre, so I commit to that, and that's always a good start to, if you're happy with something, stick it down. And I think that if I had just done that from the beginning, this wouldn't have taken me so long. I love that card there, it's really, really pretty, and I like the position of it underneath the photo, so I'm committing to that one as well. So the photo is a photo that my husband took of me, and where I live here in Queenstown we get snow in winter. It's an alpine ski resort, so we live kind of at the base of the Remarkables Mountains, and it's an old farm where we live that's been subdivided up. And if we're lucky, and the kids pray hard enough, the whole town prays, we get snow right down to lake level. So this was a day that we had, I think it was May or June, and my in-laws, my husband's parents, they used to own a farm 2 hours away, but they sold their farm, but they kept their farm bike, and they bought a rural property that's kind of rural residential, and when it snows there, it snows really, really good, and we love to get out there four-wheeler motorbike, and we tow a sled behind, and the 2 older kids have turns and we have turns as well, and it's heaps of fun. So I love that he got my camera and took some photos of me, and I guess I just wanted to do a fun layout about me having fun, and a photo that didn't have the children in it, because often I find that if I am in a photo, it's with my children. So this was perfect. It shows you a bit of our lifestyle, and I guess tiny snippet of where we live here in Queenstown, New Zealand. So this paper is so pretty, and I'm meaning to make a layout and cut out some of those triangles, and I wanted to incorporate a piece of it into this layout as well. I knew that I wanted to keep this layout quite light. I love working on white background. Lately I've been doing a lot of layouts on either grids or pattern paper background, but for this one I really wanted to focus on the vellum and just have a white background that would bring out the snow, the white of the snow, and also the yellow of the bike is quite bright, and so I wanted that to reflect across onto my layers. And here I'm getting quite pedantic with this card, and I don't want my layers to align, so I've just trimmed off some of the acetate. And if your trimmer is sharp enough, you can trim it, and you can also cut them with scissors, so that worked quite well for me, and I'm a little bit happier with that, I think. So here I've decided to use a smaller piece of that paper, and I just needed something to go underneath so that the corner of my photo wasn't left on its own with no layers. So I'm using my grid mat quite a lot, and I do this because when it comes to colour part cards or journaling cards, and even the acetate, because it's very square, the corners and edges and everything are very square, I want to make sure everything lines up. So now I'm working out where I'm going to put it on my page, and what you don't see later on will be me stitching around the edge of that vellum, just on the top and bottom edge. And the way I do that is I put some double-sided tape behind where I'm going to put my, I guess, largely matted photo and paper layers, and that way it keeps the vellum in place, and then I can just stitch. So this was the part that I spent a lot of time doing, and I've cut out a lot of it. What I wanted to do here was have, on the left-hand side, everything is very square, everything's very lined up, and that, I guess, represents me, because I'm a bit of a perfectionist and I like things a certain way. And then as I come across, so kind of where the tags are and where I'm putting that half circle, I wanted it to look a bit more spontaneous and a little bit more messy and fun, and that's probably the other side of me as well, is that I do love to have a fun time and just get out there and get amongst it, especially living here in Queenstown. So to reflect on that fun and kind of carefree aspect, I added some of that paint from Paint Dabber, and that's also an add-on that you can get in the Clique store for this month. And I just randomly just put it on there without thinking too much, and I think that reflects that fun, carefree side. And then with this tassel, I've just been hoarding it, and finally it's so good to get it down. I just used my stapler to put it into position, and I just really think that also represents the carefree side of me. So the half circle, well, half an octagon, I like the way it's peeking out there, and because it doesn't have straight edges, it's a bit more fun and free. So I think I've really explained the meaning behind my positioning of layers in this one. I don't always make a layout and have my layers or elements reflect a personality trait or a feeling, but in this instance, because it is about me, I just thought I wanted to show both sides of myself. So that's that. Enough about that now. So there you would have seen that I'd put my tape down, and I had stitched, which you didn't see, and then I just committed to putting down those layers. And now I'm lifting up some of the edges. I like dimension and I like things to pop, and I think it just looks really good rather than being all totally flat. And so this is a trick I learned from Maggie Holmes, and she does it. She just tucks some dimensional adhesive behind some of her layers, and I don't overthink it. I just think to myself, where would it look best, and just go for it. So there I'm adding some twine, and the twine's quite thin, so I've added 2 layers or 2 strands and just looping it through. I have this thing about tags, and I can't leave them. For one, I can't not punch them if they don't have a hole punched in them, and then I can't leave them out without twine. To me, it looks unfinished. So that's what I'm doing there, and it adds a bit more freedom and fun in that right corner, and I think it balances out the tassel as well. And here I was looking at the puffy stickers and other bits and pieces of embellishments that I have left. And that there is it's a bow, and it's a die you can get that's also an add-on in the shop. And I think I'll be showing it to you in a sec. It's Pink Fresh Studio, and it's designed by Jessie Christopher, and it is just beautiful, and I love it. So I've used it a couple of times, and I've still got some more layouts to make, and I'm definitely going to use it again. And for this one, I just cut it on some plain white cardstock, just American Crafts, and I did think about colouring it or watercolouring it, but in the end, because I wanted this layout to look light and airy, I guess, I just decided to leave it. So I did think about putting one of those hearts in the middle of it, but it was too big. So I've just decided to put it there above the card. And soon I will, I think, put, a little sequin in the middle of that bow. That little piece is another colour part that I haven't used yet. And I was playing around with the flare, but I couldn't make it work. I think it's because I already had those epoxy stickers that I made myself. And I thought I was going to use that puffy sticker, but I didn't. So at this point, I was really, really into this layout, and I didn't even notice that the sun had come across onto my desk there. We're in spring at the moment, and the light is kind of strange. It's quite intense. Lovely though, I'm not complaining. And so here I'm putting down the word love, and those letter stickers from Pink Fresh Studio are amazing. It's love, the gold and kind of two-toned in these different colours. And at this point I was going to have my title down the bottom. Those are the, I guess they're sequins. I like gold confetti that we get with the kit, and you get a heap of them, and they're beautiful. And I love the look of them sprinkled. So ordinarily I would have put some colour shine in, but because these are so stunning on their own, I've decided just to do my sprinkling with them. And I find it really hard, I don't know about you, but randomly sprinkling things is a really hard thing to achieve. So yeah, just a thought. Do you find that as well? Here I've got another one of those cut aparts, and the printables actually, and I'm choosing to cut it apart. You could leave them whole as well. I think that would be a great look. And I just felt that the layout needed something on the top left, and so I love the 3 sentiments that are on these, and I was going to leave it at just 2, and then I decided to come in with another one as well, and I've just put it below the first 2 just for a little bit of difference, because for me it'd be quite easy just to put that into a banner. So here I'm doing my journaling, and I think I must apologise, there was a little bit of shaking in my video there because my little one who's 17 months came along and probably shook the table. Anyway, that's my final layout. I had a really fun time making a layout about me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm really looking forward to an awesome year with Clique kits, and come back soon because I'll have some more videos up. See you then, bye.